Before we begin, if you're the kind of person who can stare down the darkest crimes and still crave the truth, hit subscribe. Trust me, you're going to want to stay for this one. The rain came down in sheets that night, turning the edges of the abandoned storage facility into a shimmering maze of shadows. Blue and red police lights painted the metal doors like some distorted carnival, flickering across puddles that smelled of rust and old rot. Officers moved quickly, tense, quiet, as if speaking too loudly might wake something buried inside the darkness. Unit 46B, that was the locker that started it all. 2 days earlier, a local family had innocently purchased the contents of that locker at an online auction. They expected old furniture, broken appliances, maybe someone's forgotten Christmas decorations. Instead, they found 2 heavy suitcases, ordinary, worn, but locked tight. When they tried to open them, a strange smell seeped out. Damp, chemical, wrong in every way. They didn't dare go further. They called the police. Now, in the dead of night, homicide detectives bent over the suitcases under a floodlight, their hands steady, but their eyes uneasy. Something inside those bags felt off, like the weight of a secret that wanted to stay hidden. Detective Erin Hale watched from just behind the crime scene tape, her jaw clenched, her breath sharp. She'd been on some horrific cases in her career, but something about this one made her spine tighten. She didn't know why yet, but she was about to. When the locks finally snapped open, the officers inside the tent stopped moving. No one spoke. No one breathed. One detective staggered back, covering his mouth. Another froze in place, staring with a look Hale had only seen a handful of times. The look of someone who had just seen the unthinkable. Word spread quickly. The suitcases didn't hold objects. They held remains. 2 children, a boy and a girl. Unknown, unclaimed, hidden. The storage unit rental records revealed the name of the original owner, a woman who had left the country years ago. Suddenly, this wasn't just a discovery. It was the reopening of a case no one even knew existed. Who were the children? How long had they been dead? And most important, who had gone to such lengths to hide them? Detective Hale stepped closer to the suitcases, looking down at the evidence bags, forming a grim circle around them. Tucked beneath one of the lining panels, an officer pulled out something else. A small, faded drawing, a smiling sun, 2 stick figures, a house with a red roof. Someone's children, someone's life, someone's crime. And then came the detail that sent the investigation spiraling into chaos. A fingerprint lifted from the handle matched a woman who was already flagged in an international database, a woman who had recently been spotted crossing the border into another country under an assumed name. A mother. But the report didn't end there. Under her alias, she had purchased another storage locker. Still active, still paying, still locked. And whatever was inside that second unit, Detective Hale could feel it in her bones. It was going to change everything. The morning after the discovery, the police station vibrated with a low, unnerving buzz. Detectives paced hallways with files under their arms. Phones rang non-stop, and reporters swarmed the front steps like vultures circling fresh tragedy. But Detective Erin Hale wasn't interested in press conferences or sound bites. She cared about one thing: the second storage unit. Records showed it belonged to the same woman, now their primary suspect, a mother who had vanished years earlier, slipping across borders and changing identities like someone shedding skins. Her trail had gone cold more than once, until now. Hale sat in the briefing room, her eyes fixed on a blurry surveillance photo projected onto the wall. The woman wore oversized sunglasses and a hood pulled tight, her posture stiff, her face partially turned away from the camera. But the timestamp matched the day she rented the first locker, then a second, both under false names. This wasn't panic, Hale muttered. She planned this. Detective Rowan, her partner, shuffled through a stack of printed rental forms.
She paid for both units for years without missing a single month. No address on file, no emergency contact, no forward info. It's like she wanted the past sealed away forever. Hale tapped her pen against the table and then walked away. By noon, the team arrived at the second storage facility, this one much older, sitting on the outskirts of town where the highway broke into lonely farmland. The cold wind whistled through rusted chain-link fences, carrying the rattle of loose metal signs. It felt abandoned, forgotten, exactly the kind of place someone would use to hide something they could never face again. The manager unlocked Unit 19C with trembling hands. She rented it 6 years ago, he told them. Always paid online, never came back after the first month. When the door rolled up, Hale expected immediate horror, a smell, something. But instead, the space was unnervingly clean. Shelves lined the walls, stacks of cardboard boxes sat neatly along the back. Rowan swallowed. This doesn't feel right. Hale approached the first shelf, her flashlight sweeping across labels written in black marker. Books, kitchenware, winter clothes. All ordinary, all too ordinary. But then she spotted one box shoved alone in the far corner, its label scribbled over so violently the cardboard had torn. Hale crouched. The surface was cold, damp, wrong. Inside were notebooks, dozens of them, same handwriting, same heavy pen strokes. Her partner flipped open the first one and froze. "These aren't journals," he whispered, "they're timelines." Each page documented days, hours, behavior patterns of 2 children, Minu and Yuna, written with obsessive precision. What they ate, how long they slept, when they cried, notes about discipline, notes about failure, notes filled with spiraling frustration and sharp edges of anger. Then came the final line in one of the notebooks. "They were too loud today. I can't take the noise anymore." Hale's throat tightened, but the true shock came when she opened the last notebook. On the first page, in meticulous handwriting, was the title, "What Happens Next?" And beneath it, a list of names. Not 2, not 3, 8. Every one of them children, and every one marked with a date. A future date. Hale's heart dropped. This wasn't a mother running from her past. This was someone preparing for something far worse. Something still in motion. Something they were already too late to stop. The flight records came in just after dawn. Detective Hale stood over the printer. As the pages rolled out, her stomach tightening with every line of data. For 6 years, the suspect had moved from one country to another. Quiet cities, border towns, cheap hostels, always paying in cash, always leaving just before authorities could connect the dots. It was a pattern of someone who knew she was being hunted. But now, for the first time, her trail wasn't cold. Interpol had issued an alert. She'd been spotted crossing into a small coastal city under yet another alias, and she wasn't traveling alone. Hale's pulse quickened.
If the notebooks were real plans, if those children's names meant what they feared, then this woman wasn't done running from her past. She was preparing to repeat it. "Book us on the earliest flight," Hale said. "We end this now." By nightfall, Hale and Rowan were on the ground, moving with a local tactical team through narrow streets lit by neon signs and flickering lamps. The suspect had checked into a cheap monthly rental above a shuttered grocery store. No visitors, no noise, no movements except a brief walk at sunrise and another at dusk. Ritualistic, controlled, predictable. But there was something else. A neighbor reported hearing a woman talking softly through the walls, not to herself, but in a tone people used when calming a child. A tone that chilled Hale to the core. At 2:14 a.m., the team breached the door. The apartment was sparse, bare walls, no decorations, only the hum of an old refrigerator echoing through the silence. A single lamp flickered in the corner, casting the room in an eerie yellow glow. And sitting calmly in the middle of the floor was the mother. Hands folded, eyes steady, no sign of fear, no sign of confusion, almost as if she'd been expecting them. Hale stepped forward. "Where are the children?"
The woman smiled, slow, deliberate, unsettling. "You mean the ones you think I took? The names in those notebooks?" She tilted her head. "You misunderstand. They were never future victims." She reached into a worn backpack beside her and slid a folder across the floor. Birth certificates, adoption inquiry forms. All 8 children were names she'd researched, children who had disappeared into foster systems years earlier, children she once attempted to adopt when her life was falling apart. Hale stared, stunned. The notebooks weren't targets. They were ghosts, shadows of the life she believed she deserved, shadows of children she convinced herself were meant to replace the 2 she had lost control over. She had built an entire imagined future, one she believed she had been robbed of. But it didn't change the truth. Her own children had died in her care. She had hidden them, she had fled, and now the world knew. Back in court months later, she sat motionless as the judge read the life sentence. Not a tear, not a tremor, only that same distant calm, as if she'd already accepted a reality no one else could understand. Reporters called it the Suitcase Murders. Investigators called it one of the most chilling parental crimes in modern history. But Detective Hale never forgot the final moment, when the mother turned back as she was led away and whispered, "They were quiet in the end. That's all I ever wanted." Hale didn't sleep for days. And when the case finally closed, one thought stayed with her, echoing long after the courtroom lights faded. Some crimes don't end with the arrest. They end with the truth. And even then, the truth can haunt you forever. If this story shook you, subscribe, because the next one, it's even darker.